Hey everyone, welcome back. We are tired of talking about 2014. We're moving on to the new stuff. Woo! 2015 and all the games that are coming out next year that we're excited for. So we're counting down the list of everything that we want to play next year. Starting off the list, the PS4 exclusive, The Order 1886. Now, Bruce, James, and Lawrence, you guys all got to see this game played, right?
Steampunk! Oh man, I was actually very excited about this game, even though it looks like another narrative-driven quick time event game, similar to The Last of Us. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that one. But if the story is good, it will sustain the game for 6 to 8 hours. I'm looking forward to that.
Okay. See, here's my thing. I was skeptical because I thought they were going to rely on the story sustaining it. But then when I watched the most recent gameplay demo at E3 that you saw, they had cool weapons.
Yeah, that was cool.
And I was like, oh, okay, well, as long as I'm not just firing an AK-47 over top of a chest-high wall, it has like gas guns and weird stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, if there's cool new weapons, I like that.
I think the thing that sticks out to me is during the demo we saw, if a game's gonna be cutscene heavy or story focused, it at least better be good. And it typically isn't with most games, but The Order looked like it had pretty good cinematography, pretty good acting, pretty good performance capture. Looks like it will be a good movie with some gaming parts in between, as opposed to a shitty movie with an okay game in between.
Scary monsters and steampunk. I can't wait.
It's gonna win an Oscar.
Shut up, Bull.
Spool's here.
It's gonna win a Keeley.
Next up on the list, we got Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Now, this is a game that we all thought was going to be one thing when that Patriots video leaked out a while ago. This has absolutely no single player whatsoever. This is multiplayer only. It looks pretty wild.
I'm looking forward to the return of just raw tactical gameplay. That was, to me, always what Rainbow Six was about. You have your wireframe of the building, you tell your groups where to breach, where to enter, and have their go points set. This is a lot smaller scale than that, considering that all your players are human, but it's still the sort of thing where like, okay, we're gonna breach through this wall, I want you to flashbang, I want you to have the shotgun on point. You actually have to work through your encounters as opposed to just running and gunning and then hiding behind a wall when you take a shot.
This for me is actually what Battlefield Hardline probably should have been. It's the cops versus robbers mode with the tactical intervention side that I think a lot of us have been craving, and it's just going to be a lot of these quick, coordinated events that you're just going to have pop in with your friends real quick, either shoot the bad guys or shoot the good guys, and be on with your life.
As always, this game hinges on teamwork, so if you jump on with a bunch of people that are not your friends, you may not have as much fun as if you played with your friends, and I think that these games, again, just rely on that.
Either way, we're looking forward to it. Next up, we have Quantum Break, the Xbox One exclusive from Remedy. Why should we be excited for this one, Lawrence?
Well, Remedy is always doing really, I hate to say daring because it makes me sound like a Hollywood reporter, but they are always kind of way ambitious with their projects. They always push a little too far, and that's what I like to see. I enjoy ambition, I enjoy daring, not in a David Cage kind of way, but Remedy always finds a way to make it a fun game. So in the original Max Payne, they made bullet time work in a game. They were the first ones to do that. I have no idea what Quantum Break is about or what it's going to play like. It looks kind of like a weird third-person shooter, but I know Remedy's going to put something in it that will make me go like, oh, that's new.
The stuff I've seen for Quantum Break, I'm gonna take it or leave it. I really need to see in more detail how the whole time manipulation aspect comes into play and whether or not it just boils down to a cover shooter with time grenades.
And then we have Zelda on the Wii U, which I'm totally looking forward to, and I know James and Lawrence are also looking forward to. I saw some footage the other day that looked pretty amazing of them actually playing the game and running through the woods and all that stuff. It looks very pretty.
Not too long ago, we actually got to see some brand new footage during the Game Awards. And seeing the open world aspect in Zelda, I think got a lot of people angry for some reason.
What?
I don't know. People just want to get mad at
People are wrong.
Weird things, and their minds were blown at the fact that the horse won't walk into trees, but you can float mid. Whatever. It looks awesome because it's Zelda.
I kind of made the joke when we were watching it that it reminded me of Skyrim in how open it was, and they were like, look, there's a mountain over there. We could actually go climb it if we wanted to, which I remember them saying the same thing with Skyrim back in the day, which gets me really excited for it, actually.
In a lot of ways, this is supposed to be the return to form for Zelda. It's a giant open world. Even the game director was like, yeah, we're gonna go back and kind of retool. There's some assumptions we've made about Zelda, so he's made some comments like you can do the dungeons out of order, you can get items out of order. Hopefully it'll lead to that kind of experience you had playing old school Zelda where it's almost Dark Soulsy, where you're dropped in this brutal world and kind of have to scrape your way through, collecting items and eventually getting stronger through your own exploration.
This is it, guys. My wet dream. Star Wars and Battlefield combined. Star Wars Battlefront.
Woo! Didn't we already play this game?
No, because the other two were kind of crappy.
Oh, what?
I played them and enjoyed them, but I thought they weren't very good.
They weren't
and Battlefield
very good.
were better versions of those games. And now that we've got DICE on Star Wars Battlefront, I'm not worried about it.
Oh wow, you just ruined a lot of people's childhoods.
Yeah, that's the way it
Bruce.
goes. Sorry.
I think what excites me most is there are modern game designs that if you just put that in a Star Wars themed massively multiplayer shooter would be awesome. So like Levolution. You could have the Battle of Yavin 4 with players actually doing the trench run and actually blowing up the Death Star in the middle of a match.
Yes.
And then like the match could conclude soon thereafter with a space fight. Like this stuff could happen. It could happen now.
I can't wait.
Up next, Mortal Kombat X.
10?
Or Cross,
10?
or 10, or something.
Extreme.
It's the next Mortal Kombat. I'm actually really excited for this. NetherRealm has been killing it with their fighting games where they could just be phoning it in and churning out sequel after sequel. And I think I'm most excited because they're really good at making fighting games that you can play by yourself. And that seems strange, but it's actually really cool for someone like me because I don't like getting my ass kicked online.
Well, either way, if you're an Xbox One owner and you're a little butthurt over not getting Street Fighter V this year, well, you got this.
Now your butt doesn't hurt.
Moving over to what we think is going to be a PC exclusive, at least this year, Overwatch from Blizzard, coming out with a new IP. This is the one Spool's most excited for because he's a big PC nerd.
Am I?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I play a lot of TF2, and this game really excites me because it looks like it's Blizzard's first foray kind of into FPS shooters, and it looks very similar to TF2 in that it's like a class-based system, and it's everyone just kind of picking what they like to play, whether that's more support role or like a tanky role.
Well, Team Fortress 2 is one of the most balanced games I've ever played,
Yeah.
and I think there's only one other company that could best Valve, and that would be Blizzard in terms of a balanced game.
Yeah,
So I'm
'cause-
looking forward to Overwatch 2.
Blizzard's great at polishing, like taking something that already exists and then polishing the hell out of it and making it their own kind of unique take on something, so it should turn out really well. We'll have to wait and see.
Moving up next on our list, the game that we were most excited for, and now we're moving down to anticipation and almost fearful because of Ubisoft's track record, The Division.
They keep delaying it, and there might be a lot of no-face glitches. The game may not even work at all.
Oh, you're selling me on it.
But from what we've seen in terms of the Snowdrop engine, it looks gorgeous. It looks beautiful. That's the first thing that I've seen about it. I was really, really stoked about with the graphics.
For better or worse, I feel kind of like I felt before Destiny came out, in which I don't know what this game is. Ubisoft still hasn't said, when you sit down and hold the controller, these are the buttons you're gonna hit, and this is what they do. And it seems vaguely like some kind of PvP open world third-person shooter, but I mean, is that it? So I'm starting to get a real Destiny vibe from it, which I think is gonna throw a lot of people off once the game actually comes out.
Up next, a game no one cares about except for Adam
You can go kill
and
yourself.
some of us, but mostly Adam.
Halo 5! Oh my god, finally. Next generation hardware. We squeezed so many games into that Xbox 360. We're finally getting new stuff. Mr. Chef, Master Chief, as he is commonly known around his friends, is, I don't know what's going on. He's
Stuck on an island.
He's in a desert with a poncho. It doesn't make any sense.
He's got a
but,
cloak.
but his helmet's cracked, and that means people are trying to kill him. I think he's the enemy of the state.
Is he gonna have sex with Cortana?
Look, I think 343 flat out said Locke is going to be the new character. I think they're slowly trying to kill off my precious Master Chief.
No!
Or maybe spin him off and do a new franchise. Who knows? Either way, the multiplayer stuff they've been showing, and I got to play a little bit of it, was really good. And I'm actually super excited about everything, but mostly the story, because I'm a big nerd. Moving on to another Xbox One exclusive, at least maybe timed, Rise of the Tomb Raider.
I really liked the new Tomb Raider reboot. I've actually described it as my favorite Uncharted game because I feel like it has all the same elements, but it feels less like you're walking down a straight line. And I really enjoyed it a lot. There was a discrepancy between the story aspect of the game and the gameplay. So like she'd be really upset that she just like killed a guy, and then the very next scene you bury 4 arrows into strangers' necks. So she gets over it real fast, and I'm hoping that now that they don't have to tell an origin story, kind of, they can just be like, all right, let's just see how crazy we can make this.
Moving on to another 20-plus year franchise, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, finally coming out in full form. Now, Lawrence, you actually played a little bit of Ground Zeroes.
It kind of adapts all modern things into Metal Gear, removes a lot of the clutter that was in 4 and 3, especially from a control perspective. And it's just fun to play. The animation's really good. It looks really good. The story's just fucking stupid. It's just stupid. And also it's picking up after like Acid and all these Metal Gears that no one played. So that's dumb, but hey, Metal Gear's dumb. So fun game, dumb story, I'm sold.
Either way, this is actually my most anticipated game of next year, just being a longtime Metal Gear Solid fan. This looks to be the biggest, craziest version Hideo Kojima has done until he makes 6 more copies 4 years from now. Up next, a game that's just been delayed once again, The Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt.
We got to see this game, almost a year ago in Germany, more than a year ago.
Yeah.
And we saw 45 minutes of straight gameplay. and this looked like one of the best PC titles I've ever seen. It's gorgeous. It's they said it's probably the largest map of any game ever, and I don't know if they can deliver on all these promises, but man, they've got me sold.
Now, what surprises me here is the Witcher series has just changed direction so many times, going from Witcher 1 to Witcher 2. It's like two completely different games. Lawrence, is that really what's going to happen here? Are they too ambitious? Is it too much?
I think the thing that impresses me the most about it is it's taken a long time to make this game. Like, good games don't come out quickly, so that by itself is kind of... I think everything's going to be good with it. It won't be kind of the copy and paste we've seen with quote-unquote epic RPGs lately.
More Geralt sex with the ladies.
Yeah, trading cards.
Are you tired of paying a woman to stomp on your balls? Well, good news. 2015 has Bloodborne.
Now, if you have watched any sort of Inside Gaming video in the last year, you know that we have mixed feelings about the Dark Souls franchise. It has actually slowly won me over when I don't have to take shots every time I die. But the game itself actually started to grow on me, and Bloodborne seems to be kind of up more my alley a little bit. I like tricorner hats. Those are cool. I like the speed in which Bloodborne is going for. Graphically, it looks amazing.
Some of the gameplay we've seen have characters just dancing all around, like interrupting their animations with dodges and stuff like that. It's almost starting to look like a co-op Devil May Cry, which may be why it's not called Blank Souls. It's not Blood Souls, it's Bloodborne, so...
And you can bet your ass that Inside Gaming is going to be doing a drunk gameplay of Bloodborne.
Boozeborne.
Boozeborne is what we're calling it.
Moving up to the last game, and certainly not least, Batman Arkham Knight, which also got delayed.
I mean, no.
I think anyone who's played a Batman Arkham game can safely agree that the longer they take on these games, the better, because this is probably going to be, I assume, the last of the Arkham franchise before they move on to something else.
One thing that I'm concerned about is kind of tracking the series from Asylum to City. Rocksteady made the combat a lot more complicated, but they did it by adding more enemy types and more moves that you have to do to beat those enemy types. So it's like a one-for-one increase in complexity.
So far, everything we've seen in this game, graphically and from a gameplay perspective, looks freaking fantastic, at least in my opinion. And as a longtime Batman fan, I'm just excited to see where this franchise is going. So there you go, our most anticipated games of 2015.
What about The Witness, Adam?
We can talk about
What
that
about all the other indie games on PlayStation 4, Adam?
No Man's Sky.
Once again, this is a personal list, and there are a lot of games that we left off. So if we did miss anything, let us know. Maybe we'll do another video if we have time.
I'm also really hoping that all these games actually come out in 2015.
2016.
Because there are so many delays, which is a good thing, because that means the games are getting better, but hopefully all these games will come out in 2015.
Regardless, if you thought 2014 was hard with all the games you have to play, 2015 ain't looking any easier, which for us is a very good thing.
I'm going to have to buy a new bank.
It's not how it works.
Oh.